Here in Canada, there's this huge debate going on that doesn't always grab the headlines, but honestly, it shapes our entire future. It's this constant tug of war between two massive ideas. How do we grow the economy, and how do we take care of our society? The path we choose affects every single one of us. Okay, let's just jump right in with a number that, well, it pretty much says it all. Over the last 10 years, the money we spent on social programs for each person grew almost 5 times faster than our actual economic growth per person. Think about that for a second. This huge gap between what we're spending and what we're producing creates this incredible tension, pulling the country in two different directions. And that's the heart of the debate we're digging into today. A number like that just makes you stop and ask, right? What is the right path forward for Canada? I mean, is this a sign that our priorities are a bit off, or has the country actually found some kind of unique, sustainable balance? Let's unpack it. To really get this, you have to picture Canada's economy as a kind of balancing act. Seriously, imagine a tightrope walker. On one side of their pole, you've got the drive for economic growth. On the other, the commitment to social welfare. The real challenge is walking that line without tipping too far one way or the other. And look, it's really important to get this straight. This isn't some simple story of good versus evil. Both of these goals are seen as absolutely essential to what it means to be Canadian. The real fight is about priorities and the approach we take. It's a tough juggle of trade-offs that every single government has to deal with. So let's break down the two sides. You can almost think of them as team growth and team welfare. Team growth says, hey, the best way to make life better for everyone is to make the whole economic pie bigger. That means we need lower taxes, less regulation, an environment where businesses want to invest and compete. But team welfare, they're focused on how we slice up that pie. They're all about universal healthcare, strong social safety nets, and policies that fight inequality because they believe a strong society is the true foundation of a healthy economy. So you have these two totally different priorities. And of course, that leads to two completely different game plans or playbooks for how to run the country. Let's take a look at how these competing ideas actually turn into real-world decisions that shape our nation. A classic pro-growth policy might be something like a corporate tax cut. The thinking behind it is pretty straightforward. If businesses get to keep more of their profits, they're going to reinvest that cash. They'll hire more people, build new things, create new tech, and all of that grows the entire economy for everyone. But like with anything, there's always a trade-off, right? Supporters will tell you these policies are absolutely vital for creating jobs and bringing the best and brightest talent to Canada. But on the flip side, critics worry that the benefits mostly just trickle up to the top, making inequality worse and maybe even taking funding away from the social programs we all rely on. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, you've got social welfare policies. We're talking about things like a national pharmacare program or subsidized childcare. The goal here is to use public money to build a fairer society where everyone, no matter what, has a basic level of security and a real shot at success. And here we go again, we see that same balancing act. Advocates say these programs reduce poverty and create a more stable society, which is good for all of us. The counter-argument, though, is that these big programs need a lot of funding, which usually means higher taxes. And that, they argue, could scare off investment and slow down the very economic engine we need to pay for it all. For decades, Canada's kind of been bouncing back and forth between these two poles. But recently, a series of events brought this quiet debate to a massive turning point, really forcing a national conversation about which way our tightrope walkers should lean. This shift was really set off by a perfect storm. First, the global pandemic in 2020 just blew the lid off how vulnerable so many jobs were. That led to this huge wave of public pressure demanding stronger social safety nets. And it all came to a head when the federal government rolled out historic programs like the Canada Emergency Response Benefit, or CERB, which was a clear signal that the country was pivoting towards social security. In a really important speech from that time, a senior official basically said it out loud. The old models are no longer sufficient. We must forge a new path that balances prosperity with protection for all Canadians. This was a huge public admission that the old rulebook was being torn up and a new balance had to be struck. So why does any of this matter? Why have we spent all this time on what sounds like a high-level government debate? Well, because this isn't just academic. It has a direct, real-world impact on your everyday life, from your bank account to your future. Seriously, the outcome of this whole debate decides the taxes you pay every single year. It shapes the quality of your healthcare and your kids' education. It influences how much it costs to live and even what kind of jobs are out there for you. It is literally everywhere. So here's the bottom line. While this whole thing might seem quiet or maybe even a little abstract, it is the invisible force shaping the Canada you and I live in every single day. The balance we strike between growth and welfare, that's the hidden architecture of our entire society. And that leaves all of us with a huge question to think about. As we look to the future with all of its brand new challenges and opportunities, where do you think Canada should find its balance? There is no easy answer, but it's for sure a conversation we all need to be having.